I gotta wait. How long I gotta wait for a press record?
Go.
Welcome to the shed, where Miss Dream always has a story.
Hey, beautiful people. My name is Dream. I'm an educator aiming to help create kind activists and a tech entrepreneur dedicated to supporting Black and Brown people on their hair journey, who has built the Chair platform to create hair boards, connect to hairstylists, and share hair care tips, while also building the Chair podcast to share hair stories and stories surrounding identity, education, and entrepreneurship. Today on the podcast is a roundtable discussion where we'll be talking mentorship throughout our educational and professional careers thus far, navigating in PWI, predominantly white institutions, and Black girlhood, with two Black women, multi-talented educators, and former guests from Season 1, Periana Staggers from episodes 28 and 29 titled The Secret Black Meeting and Wear Your Hair Out, and Devenia Cordette from episode 51 titled I Read the Paper. Enjoy.
Where we share stories in the chair.
Hey, beautiful people. My name is Dream, and this is our roundtable. And today we have Devenia and Periana joining us. And so I'm going to volley it to them. Devenia, can you please introduce yourself and tell me what your favorite ice cream flavor is and or dessert?
I sure can. Good morning, Dream. Good morning, world. I feel like hello, world, like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Anyways, my name is Devenia Dawes. I do use she, her pronouns. Also, I do go by Big Mama, capital B, capital M. And my favorite ice cream flavor is probably either cookie dough or like a really deep, dark chocolate. I love chocolate anything, but my favorite dessert, and shout out to my mama who put me on at a young age. My favorite dessert is probably like a creme brulee with like fresh fruit on top. Because you tap during, you remember my episode where I got into that ASMR. You tap that little crust. Mm-hmm. It's just good. It's creamy. The fresh fruit. I love it. So I would say chocolate ice cream or cookie dough or a creme brulee.
Okay.
Fancy.
Really, though?
Thank you.
Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Periana Staggers. Favorite ice cream flavor? Definitely a tie between butter pecan and banana pudding ice cream. Ooh. But it depends on where the banana pudding ice cream is from. So there's that. But favorite dessert, hands down, caramel cake. My sister makes the bomb caramel cake. Oh my goodness. I think I might want that, actually. I mean, my birthday is right around the corner, you know. Shout out to all the Geminis out there, you know.
Gary, I almost forgot you're a Gemini. I love Gemini. Happy early birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
So today we are going to be digging into mentorship, girlhood, and thinking about what it means to navigate as educators when we were in school, because we all went to Lake Forest College, and then also just navigating in PWI spaces. So I wanted to talk to begin our conversation thinking about mentorship. Why do you believe mentorship is important?
I think mentorship is really valuable just because it provides support, it provides guidance. You're learning from someone else's journey, learning from their mistakes so that you don't have to make the same ones. You're getting like networking, like, you know, this person is going like, they're going to ride for you. They're going to put you on, they're going to put you into spaces and put your name into places where it may not necessarily have been before. So I think it's really helpful to have. But as I thought about this question, I thought about it not only in terms of a professional or educational lens. Like, I think you should have mentors in all aspects of your life. Like, I think about me myself, like, I have spiritual mentors, I have, mommy mentors, and I'm learning so many things from each of them. So I think it's important in all aspects of life.
I like that a lot. I think mentorship is important because of like one of my favorite endangered symbols is the Sankofa bird. And
Yes.
I think of mentorship and our one of my favorite mentors, like probably my most beloved mentor, Dr. Dozier, who we talked about him in our episode, who I know that Periana has a really dynamic relationship.
Mhm.
Just literally the woman, professor and Black woman of all. She rooted that in us, and I believe that mentorship is like the Sankofa bird. You can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been, but you got to be moving forward. So when I think about it in that way, I'm thinking about how even now, quick example. So I go to church. I was raised Baptist. And I'm at the age now where the younger kids are asking me for things, or I'm asking them about going to college. Like they
Mhm.
get an MC for a program, and they're like, "Devenia, will you please be our MC last minute?" We know. I was like, "Stop, I got you." And they're like, "Really?" Because we asked everybody else, and I was like, "You're fine." But I'm at that age now where I remember the people in church that did that for me. Like,
Mhm.
now I need to do it for this generation. I see you. I love you. I care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out at my church. Like, well, I'm out everywhere. Nobody shames me about like my sexuality. But in that, I feel like there are a lot of queer young people in our church, and since we're raised Baptist, and there could be such a veil over that. And I'm like, not only is there not a veil, there's not anything. Like, I'm here. I've brought my partners to church and so on and so forth. So, like Periana said, like not even just professionally or like academically, it's like personally, knowing what I know from the past and moving to the future allows me to pass the baton in such a beautiful way, and at times shield them under my wings.
Mhm.
And it's a beautiful thing because I've seen the people around me, men, women, and non-binary people alike, who have done the same thing for me. So,
Mhm.
I'm always grateful to have a mentor. And ultimately, I think it's about being seen and feeling heard and feeling respected, and feeling understood when I think about mentorship. And those people who have done that for me have changed my life. And I'm always really grateful when I feel like I'm doing that for somebody else in any possible way that I can.
Mm. When I think about mentorship, growing up, I was only taught to think about it long term, as in you find someone who is doing something great and you check in with them regularly. But in my experiences, I realized that is not as realistic for my journey. And
Mhm.
understanding that mentorship doesn't necessarily have to be long term, it could be short term. It could really just be one great conversation. It could be 4 months of intensity. I think a lot about when I started building the chair in business school. I'm the only educator background in my program. I'm one of, we'll say, 8 Black students. None of my teachers had Black beauty tech as their background. So there was no direct mentorship link I had, but I kept talking to people who had backgrounds in marketing or social innovation. So being able to talk out my thoughts, and maybe there was a gem that they dropped, or maybe there was a resource that helped me find a different resource that helped me find a different person to
Yeah.
get to like extend a little bit. So I feel mentorship sometimes gets a little like stagnant in how people think about it, that mentorship can't evolve with your skill set or even with a moment. Like I think about when I worked at the Department of Education, and my supervisor, she said to me, she was like, "Hey, you have this really particular skill." And she named it. She was like, "Oh, you can see the details and the vision simultaneously and float back and forth between the two." And I was like, "Can everybody do that?" Right? And she said, "No." But someone had to say that out loud for me to be able to recognize that. She wasn't trying to teach me that. She was just saying, "This is what I noticed. This is what you're doing, and it's great. you should keep doing it. And then now I have to think about, what does that mean for me when I'm talking to people my age or younger? Just sometimes highlighting something that they're already doing amazing, that they just see themselves doing it.
Where we share stories in the chair.
Look, it's my commercial. We will be right back.
It's more than just a bad hair day. It's a journey. Finding the right hairstyle isn't easy, nor is finding the right stylist or the right products. Looking in every corner of the web gets messy, overwhelming, and exhausting. All the ads, the articles, the products, the videos, it shouldn't be this hard, but it is. And now, it isn't. The Chair. A black and brown centered platform where you can design hair boards, connect to hairstylists, and share hair care tips for a new, joyful path on your hair journey. Avoid the clutter, save yourself hours, months, and even years of research and poor trial and error. Everything you need and only what you need is in one place. Hair boards made by people like you, for you. Find the right products, the right people, the right answers for you, stress-free. Join the Chair community and make every day a great hair day. When you share your pain, you allow others to help you. And when you share your success, you help others get theirs. Lean on the Chair. We got you. No stress, no strife. In the chair, the chair, the chair. All right.
When you were at Lake Forest, did you feel that you found Professor Dozier purposely, or you purposely asked her to be your mentor at one point?
You know what? I don't know if I ever intentionally asked Professor Dozier to be my mentor. What a great question for reflection. Wait, hold on. Dream, you know how I get when I start rhyming. But really, though, you know what it was? The beauty of being Black, which is every part of being Black, even the struggle part. And, we won't get into that now. We can dive into that at another time or another conversation. Is unspoken need and needs being met.
Yeah.
Like, I've been thinking about gumbo a lot, and like the history of gumbo and what a pot of gumbo is. And a pot of gumbo is Periana bringing her little bit of okra from whatever she was able to save from her pickings during the time of slavery, and Dream being able to get a little bit of smoked meat from wherever she was coming from. And maybe I had some rice, and maybe Dr. Dozier had a little, like, the notion of gumbo is so important as a historical dish. And I think it represents the beauty of what struggle can bring. I think that Black people are very unlimited, and gumbo is such a tangible example of that. And so, but gumbo is, we have a need. How do we meet that need? And to meet that need, we all come together and we make this gorgeous roux and broth of a dish, and everybody can get a bowl and we can all eat off of it and feel full. So I say that to say, I think that Dr. Dozier saw a need and she fulfilled the need automatically, where I didn't have to directly ask. Now, on a little bit more of an official note, she was my advisor. So she was my advisor. And then also Professor Levis was my advisor, and she was because I minored in law at Lake Forest. And so she was my advisor too, but I had two strong women as my advisors. I never had a male advisor. I didn't necessarily feel like I needed one or wanted one. But with Dr. Dozier, I never directly asked her to be my mentor, but Dr. Dozier was deeper than a mentor. Dr. Dozier was like your auntie, your grandma, your mama. And so in that relationship, it's greater than a mentor. You know what I'm saying? In that relationship, I kind of have all I need. In that relationship, Dr. Dozier was a bowl of gumbo on her own. And we were the rice when we needed to be. And the beauty of Dr. Dozier is that once I graduated and I was able to go through classes, even when I came back to Lake Forest when she retired and I was in the corner bawling my eyes out, I feel like her thing was, I recognize that you think that I'm the gumbo, but really you're the gumbo and you're the roux and you're the fresh cut veggies and you're the this. Like, it felt like Dr. Dozier was like, I know how y'all are seeing me because there's only one of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to also see this in yourself. It, like Dr. Dozier, I never felt like she was so glorified in being the only Black woman professor. Like, oh, look at me, and oh, everybody needs me. I think that Dr. Dozier was very much like, y'all get in this room, and I love y'all, and let's talk, and let's be real, and I'm going to educate y'all, and we can be honest about these things, and whatever you need, I got you. And if you ever going up against something, I'll back you. And also, here's a little tidbit on how to navigate the world outside of this. And here's a little tidbit on how to navigate Lake Forest, a very, very white space. Still a very, very white space.
Yep.
And I don't think I ever had to ask, but I know if I would have asked, I think if I would have directly asked Dr. Dozier to be my mentor, I think she would have been flattered. I think she probably would have almost blushed a little bit because I think it would have been sweet to her, but I don't think it would have been necessary.
I agree wholeheartedly with that. I'm over here thinking, did I ever ask her to be my mentor? I don't think so. It was so organic. The relationship was just so organic. I do feel like I sought her out though, just being a Black woman needing a Black woman to mentor, to be just to go to for all the things. And she was my advisor, but she was so much more than that. And I feel like she poured into us so much. And now it's kind of wild that we are that next generation, so to speak. We're the mentors now. We're the aunties, or being able to pour into all of the folks. So it's wild, full circle. And I'm still in touch with her, which is so wild. She wrote me a letter. She mailed me a letter a couple of months back, just checking in on the family and all that. So, it's just so heartwarming to have that. Absolutely love her, though.
I want to add something too. You, Dream, and you, Periana, when I came to campus, y'all were like, yeah, you and Dr. Dozier, go talk to that lady. I didn't even have to seek her out because the black women around me were like, I was like, yeah, I'm Devenia Periana. I was like, yeah, I knew your brother from Walter Payton. And Dream was like, well, Periana's my best friend. And both y'all looked at each other and y'all looked at me and y'all were like, hey, you go talk to Dr. Dozier right away. You need to meet her and you're going to love her and you respect. I didn't have to, Dr. Dozier was put on me kind of like a shawl or a scarf by y'all in so many ways, in the sense of this is a great resource, because beyond the fact that Dr. Dozier is Black and also hilarious and just very cultural and very Chicago, Dr. Dozier is an absolute genius. So it's not like I'm just oh, Dr. Dozier's Black and she can feel me, even though I don't want to minimize that and say that's not enough. Because that is enough. But also, it was the genius Black women around me were like, there's a genius Black woman on campus who's our professor, and we want you to get that genius. We want you to get in there and get in that gumbo and get in the sweetness of it all. So luckily I came in and I had people who were like Dr. Dozier, and I did the same thing with our friend Raphael. When he came in with his skull cap on and his 14 layers, you know what I'm saying? When he came in, I hope he listens to this. Raphael gonna be like, now, Miss Doss, you didn't need to do me like that. I love you, Raphael. You came in, you was a young buck. But when he came in, I was like, Raphael, you gotta meet Dr. Dozier. It was we were all, when kids came in, we were now responsible for giving the breadcrumbs to lead to Dr. Dozier's office. And I think that was imperative for those who needed it. I think it was imperative in our journeys at Lake Forest, because there were times where it's just I was just in Dr. Dozier's office, and I was just talking about the whiteness around me. I wasn't even talking about anything educationally. And I needed those moments, and I needed a auntie, mom, grandma in that moment to be like, they're there, essentially, like holding me, rubbing my back. So I didn't seek her out. Luckily, she was highly recommended to me, and then she loved me when she met me in my mind and in my heart. And Dr. Dozier, we love you. That's the truth.
Yeah. I think that also just speaks to like the power of like mentorship and its importance for us though, right? Like you spoke to how, okay, like we like brought her to you and you brought her to Raphael, and like it just continues, right? Like we see a need, like we're gonna meet that need for one another. Like we're gonna make sure that we're all we got. We're all we got. And we're gonna make sure we're well taken care of. And I think that speaks to how important mentorship is, especially for us, especially in predominantly white spaces.
Oh, and if you're interested to learn more about my experiences as a Black woman and educator in Guangzhou, China, I wrote my first ebook titled Nowhere and Everywhere, Captured Emotions of a Beautifully Broken Love Story. It is on lulu.com. Take a read and see some beautiful photography of mine. Enjoy the rest of the show. What do you feel is missing or undervalued when it comes to people looking for mentorship?
Dream, paint that in a different color for me.
When people talk about finding mentors,
please.
I think about searching for my future. Like I'm looking for people who have a path. But then it could silo you. It could make you very, very focused in a way that is end up distracting you from all these other potential avenues. Do you feel like there is a piece of advice that gets lost or goes over someone's head when it comes to mentorship?
Good question. Two things came up for me, but I'm really curious to see what Periana is thinking too. My mom used to tell me, if you're the smartest person in your friend group, then you're not in the right friend group. Black mama, and she's right. You know what I'm saying? I deeply enjoy the strength that Dream and I have, and also Dream is somebody that I do think is smarter than me in the best way. And of course, Dream is not gonna claim that with a 4,000 degrees. Jesus, Dream, it's a compliment. But even looking at Periana, like I thought that my brother was smarter. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that, and I think that not just older, because I think that we look at age and we assume
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And age doesn't equate to wisdom.
Right.
Like being older doesn't make you grown. It just makes you an adult by definition, but it doesn't make, and I think being grown and being an adult are two different things in ways. But I think that having somebody that you feel is smarter than you is really important. And the thing is that like my mom always says, and I love my mama, she goes, she's like, I got a GED and I can read the room better than a lot of people who are in education. Like one of her really close friends, I won't say her best friend because her best friend would kill me if she ever heard this, but one of her really close friends, who was my best friend's mom, she's like a lawyer, she's got a couple degrees. And she always tells my mom, like, Chris, I still can't read people the way that you do. I still don't have that skill. Like I can read people, but you're able to really look at a situation and like take it in a whole different way where you understand people, and that's an invaluable skill. Like you got to be able to read that. And I tell Dream all the time, Dream is my energy like oracle, and I feel that way about Libras. If a Libra comes to me and they're like, I don't really know about that person, I promise within months, maybe even a year, that person dropped. And Dream, I have that relationship with Dream, and I have that relationship with another really good Libra best friend of mine. But Dream is really good with that. So having somebody that you feel like is smarter than you in the areas that you need strength in, is I think is really important, and that requires a little humility. I also think having somebody that's well rounded. So like I wouldn't want a mentor who, in ways, has like never done certain things or been in certain areas. Like a mentor for me wouldn't be somebody that's been like, I've only been around white people my entire life.
Mhm.
Or I've never left my neighborhood. I don't know. Like I want somebody that's well rounded, that's had a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, in whatever capacity it is. And that's part of the reason why I chose a liberal arts school. Like I wanted to be well rounded. And I wanted small classrooms, but I want somebody who is well rounded. And that means like, even if it's like, okay, I've only done this, but I've read Black literature. Or, what, I have only done this, but I've at least tasted Indian food. Like, whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
Like, I want you to have had a little bit of experience in some different areas where we can talk about some things, or you can align me into some things and be like, oh, you've never had sushi? We got to go for sushi. You know what I'm saying? Or, oh, you never heard of Sandra Cisneros? Let me introduce you to her. Or, you know what? Tell me IDME, Children of Blood and Bone. Like, whatever it is, I want somebody to be able to introduce me to something and be well rounded in that. And I think that that's important in mentorship, and not just looking at age to equate to wisdom. Like, you might be able to experience something from somebody younger than you. And is that not a mentoring moment because they're younger than you? I don't know. How do we play with age and mentoring is important too.
I think just the way we think about mentorship, right? And I think you alluded to this earlier. I think if we can think about mentorship in the grand moments and the small ones, like if we learn to see them like in that way, then I think we would be able to cherish like those like mentor, like those small moments that we might miss, that we might not see as like, okay, like, oh, like light bulb, like that was a mentorship type moment. I think that would certainly like help us get somewhere a little quicker. But I do think that it doesn't, I think we have a cookie cutter like definition of mentorship and what it needs to look like. And sometimes we pigeonhole ourselves into thinking like, okay, like I have all these check boxes, right? Like it's like a relationship. I have all these check boxes and they have to meet all of like these points. It's not really that, because like everyone can't be everything to you, right? So you may have a mentor who professionally can pour into you or like meet like this need and get you into this room or what have you, and you may have another who is cultivating like that ability to, I don't know, like make you more like well-rounded or what have you. So I think just taking different pieces from different people rather than like one mentor needs to be like everything to you.
Yeah, I don't think for me a mentor has to be well rounded. Like ideally, but because maybe you're not trying to get all ma- like I just think about the people I met in business school. Like there were so many different minds there, and many of them were so different from me. But when we had an issue, I wanted to look at like our class project from their perspective. I just wanted to understand how they were looking at the problem. And they didn't need to have all the skills that I had because they were relying on their strengths. And what I appreciated is our very first group project. Like we were all separated into these groups, and it was like a group of 5 of us. And they purposely put a whole bunch of different types of people in each group. And I always remember the guy who was with me. His name was Conlon, white dude. He was an accountant, and like that was his trade. And when we talked, even the way he talked and how he thought was so different from me. But we were able to learn from each other based on how we approached the problem. And in those moments of going to class with him in our finance class and our accounting class, I appreciated him in a way where he was able to see a version of me, because he went to Brown and he said he took a class where he had to look at the economics of a neighborhood. And so when he met me, he said, "Oh, you think like my class all the time." And so when we were arguing about numbers and the why behind our decision making and how to understand finance, he was able to come towards me a little more instead of just being like, "You just need to understand this problem." And I was like, "No, the why is important for me." And so were we both well-rounded in this idea of how we thought about accounting? No. Like, we were on polar opposites, but I think we were willing to meet in the middle. And I think I'll always be grateful for that mentorship, for that year with him.
I feel that, Dream. I feel that. So maybe not my final answer. I hope you're happy. But no, I'm not saying. I think my point was more like, I want to be around somebody that can teach me something. And I want that teaching it could be from whatever. And even if it's from their own experience or, their own shade of green, I want to learn that. Because maybe I don't have enough green in my palette. You notice when I asked you to rephrase the question, I said, "Can you paint that for me in a different color?"
Yes.
So I think I'm more leaning there, where it's just like I want to be able to learn something different from who I'm around, and I want to be able to look at it in a different way. So if the problem is, how do we build? You remember when you were younger and you had the toothpicks and the marshmallows?
Yes.
And they were like, build something and build a house. And maybe my version of a house is just a little square with a roof. But maybe somebody else is like, well, I didn't grow up in a 2-story. I grew up in a 1-flat. So my version of a house is a longer piece with a garage. I don't know. I want to be around. I do know. I want to be around somebody that could teach me something different or aid me in looking at things in a different way.
Thank you both, Periana and Devenia, for sitting in the chair and sharing your stories. I truly, truly, truly appreciate you coming on today.
We love you. I love you. And
love you both, really.
Thank you both for, in your own ways, being mentors to me when I came to Lake Forest. I think it helped shape my college experience. I think it allowed us to have the relationships that we have now. Both of you are women that I love and I admire and I respect and I deeply care for. And yeah, God is good and God is real and abundant, and we're protected and we're covered. And Periana, congratulations on another beautiful Black baby.
Oh, thank you.
Please send me pictures and tell Tyrone I say, "Hey, Dream, tell mommy." I say, "Hey, mommy." She know what I'm saying. But I love you both. And Dream, don't cut that out.
Welcome to the chair, where Miss Dream always has a story.
Thank you for listening to an episode of The Chair. I'm going to share with you a dream of mine. I would love to be on Sesame Street. Sesame Street held my hand through childhood. In my dream, I would be in my big afro or rainbow braids sitting on the stoop sharing hair stories. I would like your help, please, by doing all the things like leave a review, share it with someone who would benefit from hearing this episode. And if you know someone who knows someone who knows someone at Sesame Street, share your favorite episode with them, and I'll make you some of my famous chocolatey hot chocolate. I hope you have a beautiful day, or if you are like me, still up in the middle of the night, I hope you take a deep breath and rest. Love you. Talk to you later.
Hello. Please leave a message after the tone.
Dream, hello. I just wanted to tell you you're wonderful. I just got through going through your podcast. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Keep it up. Maybe I need to send it to Oprah and Tyler Perry. Love you, baby. You are great.
Where we share stories in shaking it.